Hey, it's your boy Bobby Beast here. I want to talk about a subject that comes to mind, and that is the Kane spinoff, right? When it comes down to it, one of the biggest spinoffs I think that would come from Power Book 2 Ghosts, I've been mentioned since Book 2 Ghosts ended, was the Kane spinoff, especially with the way things ended for the character at the end of the series. And so with that being said, I knew there was going to be some spinoffs that was going to come out of that series. I said that there would be a chance that they're obviously going to continue Tariq's story. His story will continue because the way it ended, it's more like, yes, he established himself, he became Ghost, but it's a to be continued because there's more to his story coming. Effie could have had a spinoff depending on the route that she would have took, but she decided to stay with Tariq, so henceforth her story will continue with Tariq. Kane, however, does show signs of a spinoff, and not just him. Diana could even perhaps be around him in this spinoff as well, because it would be a Tejada heavy spinoff. It would be in the South. It would be different, right? Pretty much, if you guys can remember, at the very end of Power Book 2 Ghosts, Kane went on the run because the cops was looking for him. A similar situation to what Tommy had at the very end of the original Power, where he had to go on the run. Tommy's original destination was Los Angeles, but somehow he ended up in Chicago. And so with that being said, Kane's destination right now, as far as we know, is Atlanta. He was going down there with the character Little Dirk played, which was his cousin and his aunt, to hide out. And so the Kane spinoff makes the most sense because it's like, okay, he goes down there and he builds his own thing. He becomes the boss he always wanted to become. Pretty much very similar themes to what Force is or Force was. And when Tommy showed up in Force, he went there looking for family. Apparently, he went to go see his grandmother, but ended up finding his brother that he never knew about. Ended up finding out he had a nephew that he never knew about. And personally, I still think he was going to end up somehow being related to Colin's family. But I think they just threw that storyline away when the Irish Mafia storyline pretty much fell apart in season 2, and now they're focused directly on the storyline that's going on right now. And so with that being said, let's say Kane ends up in Atlanta. He's around the Tejadas in Atlanta, and he's seeing how they get down, and maybe he's like, he has his way of how he do things, they have their way of how they do things, but Kane's number one goal is to take over and become the leader. And pretty much with him being at the level he was at in Book 2 Ghosts, where he was at the level his mother put him at, and then he was at the level he wanted to be, and then he's been a leader sometime. He was mentored by Mecca. So much about Kane's character could come out in Atlanta in a whole new place, because Kane is Kane. Kane's not going to change. He is going to be Kane. Maybe in Atlanta he'll find true love because he has to have a love interest. Maybe in Atlanta he'll find the family that he always wanted in the Tejadas that he was born with, that he never could find with that original family, because it seems as though he was always trying to, he was Monet's most loyal person, but then when he tried to become himself, Monet didn't like it. And Monet had great reason to be cautious about him when dealing with Noma. And then there was also Lorenzo, who he couldn't fully trust, and Lorenzo's favorite was Drew. So it was so much conflict in the family because the Tejadas really couldn't trust themselves. And so when it comes down to it, maybe he'll find the family that he always wanted in Atlanta. Maybe he'll have the life he always wanted in Atlanta. And you never know what cops will be looking for him, saying, hey, Kane Tejada, he's on the run, he's down here. So he could be dealing with different situations if we were to get a Kane spinoff. But when it comes down to it, I think that this is going to be the unannounced spinoff, the one that is not said to come just yet. We kind of knew there was going to be a Tommy and Tariq spinoff to some degree, because with Tariq's storyline, a lot of us felt like Book 2 Ghosts ended a little too early, and then right after that announcement we get Force about to end as well. We kind of knew, okay, bringing Tommy and Tariq together makes the most sense, and that's pretty much what they're doing. But with this one right here, I definitely believe a Kane continuation makes a lot of sense, and we'll see how that play out. But I think we're definitely going to get a Kane spinoff. It's just going to probably be announced a little bit later, and a lot of people are going to be hyped for that show. And so right now, while we confirm have like 2 Power spinoffs, which is Origins, and then some people are saying this is going to be called Power Legacy. I don't know about that. The Kane spinoff seemed like something that I think that is going to happen as well. So, but we're going to see how this one plays out. I just want to say to all of you that it is your boy Bobby Beast here. We'll say much love, much respect. Hold it down, and hold